Alright guys, welcome back to Pillows 2. Still at the beginning.
President Harris will be the nominee of the Democratic Party. There's a sugar high that Kamala Harris has brought to this race. Folks are kind of upbeat for making that change, but it doesn't change the structure of this race.
I'll say this right, fellow Democrats, I wouldn't be getting sugar high in anything right now because of the election we're today. Chances are we're going to lose. They need to get off that sugar high and get to work.
Well, it has been quite something, and now it is official. Democrats have nominated Vice President Kamala Harris as their nominee. Washington Post officially, she secures the nomination with more than 4,000 convention delegates. They had until Monday. They had to submit their ballots, but no other candidate qualified to challenge Harris, making her selection almost certain. Harris crossed the threshold just a day after online balloting began. It's been a good week. Look at the fundraising numbers. Just announced $310 million for July compared to the Trump campaign $139 million. Closer in the overall 377, 327. And then you look at the Real Clear Politics average, which is creeping closer and closer together. This is an average of recent polls. There are some polls now that have Kamala Harris up. The swing states seem to be holding roughly about where they were June 26th before the last debate. That's where we are as we set the table with our pen. Hoagie Diddley is a former Trump campaign administration communications official. Is now with the America First Policy Institute. Matt Bennett, co-founder of Third Way, former deputy assistant to the president for governmental affairs. Actually, as a political reporter, Steph Crowder. I'm starting to use that because you have the easiest title. What do you think about the state of this race right now? It's just tight.
It is tight, and it was tight before, but it's such a contrast from just a few weeks ago when others were reporting so many Democrats saying that the election, they felt like their chances were done, that Trump had this bad. There was a lot of despair among Democrats, and so that's certainly not there anymore. There is a lot of excitement behind Kamala Harris right now. Obviously, it was a historic switch in the tickets, and that's driving some of the excitement. But the fundraising numbers don't lie. The polls aren't improving after 6 months of being down from Trump and really no movement there. So, Democrats have a lot to be excited about, but there's still a long way to go before he got her. And there's still a lot we don't know about Kamala Harris. She doesn't have a history, I think, particularly right.
And doesn't this week, Hogan hasn't really answered any questions. She put one impromptu question on the tarmac last night that the answer was a little all over the place, but there haven't been a lot of report questions on policy issues, which makes a debate that much more interesting potentially. Here's Maria Bonner report along with the former president on that issue.
Are you going to debate her?
Well, I want to. And we're leading in the polls, it seems, by quite a bit still. She's better than he is, but I think ultimately she'll be worse than him. If I didn't do the debate, they'd say, oh, Trump's not doing the debate. It's the same thing they'll say now. I mean, right now I say, why should I do a debate? I'm leading in the polls. And everybody knows her, everybody knows me.
So, walking around that answer, the Harris campaign quick to jump on this. Donald Trump needs to man up. They say he's got no problems criticizing him for garbage in his rallies and interviews. The commentator puts too scared to do the same on the stage of the vice president of the United States. What do you make of this? Is he going to do it?
And first of all, he's not afraid of anything. I think we all know that. But interestingly enough, Kamala Harris is more radical than Joe Biden, and she's less likable. She is being protected in a way that I've never seen the mainstream media to anybody in politics in about 20 years. Not asking her any questions and just taking rote comments from staffers that say she's flip-flopped on all these positions. No one's asked her if she's had a change of heart in any of these positions because they know it's a problem for her. Not just the fact that she is wishy-washy, that she is fake, that she'll say and do anything to get elected. This is the same woman who went on a debate stage and called Joe Biden a segregationist and a sex criminal, and then served beside him for 4 years. No one's ever asked if that was true or not, and this is all after she actually worked with Joe Biden's son, Bo, and did events with Joe Biden. So the whole thing on its face is a problem for Democrats. But the quicker Republicans get back to focusing on issues that matter for American people and paint the fact that the Harris-Biden administration have hurt us in so many different ways in the last 4 years, the better off they'll be.
But bouncing off of that, the economy and the jobs number today was disappointing. 114,000, 4.3 unemployment, sent the markets a little into jittery territory, and the R word started popping up on Wall Street, whether that's going to happen in a recession. How much does that factor into where we are right now in this race? Even though you're on this amazing launch, clearly both sides said she had a great launch.
No doubt, she had a phenomenal launch, and we were headed to Chicago for a funeral, and now we're for a wedding. Very different feel. The economy is always incredibly important. And oddly enough, 4.3 is pretty low for unemployment, and unemployment is not an issue in this campaign. I've been doing politics for 37 years. This is the first time unemployment is not an issue. What is the issue is prices, inflation. Inflation has been coming down. It's still too high, folks. And what we didn't see the Fed do yesterday was what they should have done, which is cut rates. Today's job report makes it very clear that they screwed that up. That is not a Joe Biden or Kamala Harris problem. That is a Fed problem. Hopefully they'll fix that soon.
And how much do you think that this race is about the economy? And how much does Vice President Harris run on the economy?
Well, every race is always about the economy. It's always issue number one. But you pick those presidents in a way that's different than where they vote for governor, senator, or any other office. It's not about kind of exactly matching up issue by issue. It's how you feel about these people. And I just have to strongly disagree with Hogan on how people feel about Kamala Harris. Right now, there's a whole bunch of people that feel really good about her. And there is an enormous swath of the country that is very bad about Donald Trump. They know him well and they don't like him. So that's why this race is.
We're on our second iteration of trying to figure out the deep states on the other side. Here are some of the candidates speaking out.
Of course, I'm flattered to even be mentioned in this context. And it's a very important choice, and she's going to make the choice that is right for her. I'm not going to get into any of that. I'm going to be focused on making sure that Kamala is the next president.
The vice president has a very deeply personal decision to make right now. I trust she will make that decision on her own terms when she is ready.
The only way I would consider something other than this current job is if I believed I could further help my people and to help this country.
Which takes us to a place we call Kansas Casino. This is the VP Harris choice for VP. Okay, $100 in chips. Put them on the table. Steph, we'll start with you.
I'm going all in on Governor Shapiro. I think.
100, you rarely see the black chip.
Yes.
Rarely
I'm
see
going
it.
all in on Shapiro. I think there are a lot of signs indicating it could be him, and I think he is just politically the smartest choice. This entire election is going to come down in Pennsylvania. If there's anything that she can do to get a few extra voters in that state, that's what he does.
It is starting. The launch is starting Tuesday from Philadelphia, so there's another sign. There's a mayor of Philadelphia video that surfaced today, and they say it's an endorsement. So, all right, we've got $100 in chips. Here we go.
Okay.
It's not that true. I used some of my sources, putting on my old report I have here, and I gave 75 to Shapiro, 20 to Walls, just in case, because I'm hearing some rumblings there too. But I left Kelly on there because still from Arizona, because it's more beginning to come out. You saw a lot of the jockeying on the Republican side between these people who could be the nominee, who could be the candidate. You see them kind of backbiting each other. We'll wait to see if Shapiro has enough to last.
All right, $100 in chips.
I'm sprinting around the table because we've got these candidates, a whole bunch of them, and I think any of them would be great. All it comes down to is chemistry. Who does she feel the best with? Who does she look the best with? I saw this in too when Clinton and Gordon, I mean, they were basically identical, stayed sort of each other. But man, the chemistry was amazing and just exploded when they walk in the room. That's really interesting. Well, she's doing the interviews this weekend. We will see. Up next, the Friday lightning round: gender issues in Olympic boxing, winners and losers. Then, the quote.
Okay, you said it. Because I spent it, I'll tell them to live in the customize his furniture. Pay for what they need. Got it? You get that. Only pay for what you need.
I'm lucky. I found the one thing that I was put on this earth to do. Transforming raw metal into sculptures is my dream to do this. And every day, as I inch one step closer to my vision, it reminds me that making it in life is all about the making.
Everyone, our calling is to build trust. So when you find your calling, nothing can stop you from answering. When Storm says, we are there to rebuild. As our neighbors age, we lighten their burdens. As our veterans adjust, we ease their transitions. In every part of the country, we are there. We are Catholic Charities. We serve millions each year, regardless of their faith. We put food back on tables, unlock doors, and walk together on the road. Help Catholic Charities serve your neighbors in need. Join us, and we are there at US.
Introducing Dennis Black Rice. He thinks his flaky red patches are all people see.
Otezla is the #1 prescribed pill to treat plaque psoriasis. In fact, Otezla can help you get clear skin and reduce itching and flaking. No treatment just required. Doctors have been prescribing Otezla for over a decade. Otezla is also approved to treat psoriatic arthritis. Don't use Otezla if you're allergic to it. Serious allergic reactions can happen. Otezla may cause severe diarrhea, nausea, or vomiting. Some people take Otezla in depression, suicidal thoughts, or weight loss. Upper respiratory tract infection and headache may occur.
With clear skin, movie night is a groovy night. Live in the moment. Ask your doctor about Otezla.
With Xcom G7, managing your diabetes just got easier. So, what's your glucose number right now? Good thing you don't need a finger stick. How's about 3 to cut your glucose? Oh, the answer's on your phone. But if you're heading low at night, wow, it can work for you. And you can even track your goals. Manage your diabetes with confidence with Dexcom G7 and most accurate CGM. Learn more at Dexcom.com.
She runs and plays like a puppy again.
Yes?
Number 2 is he's a pretty big dog all the mystery.
People switch their dog's food from Phil's to Farmer's dog. They often say that it feels like magic, but there's no magic involved. It's simply fresh meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of dried pellets. Just food made by other dogs, delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do.
My Huckabee for Vendir. Want to know my secret of having more physical energy and more mental alertness? I take the goodness of 1,000 red grapes packed into this Vendir capsule. Why? Vendir is the remarkable red grape circulation superfood shown in a clinical trial to increase the dilation of arteries. For better blood flow. I've taken Vendir every day for over 3 years. Vendir gives me the energy I need to be at the top of my game. Go online to get your first month free. Vendir, better blood flow, better life. I managed to get the last one for $190. I booked the last one a week ago.
I booked yesterday. Some sites panic you into booking their last room. Instead, Trivago compares hotel prices from hundreds of sites, so you can save up to $50 a night.
I'm here.
Hotel Trivago. It won't be hard to find someone to fix this.
What are you missing?
Different story. A lot has changed for us at Angie since then, but the issues facing homeowners are the same. And the solution to skilled local pros. Get started at Angie.com.
It's almost time. Verizon Small Business Days are coming. August 5th to the 11th. Meet with our experts. Get protection and special offers. So this out.
get started today. Any taking the ring? Has Korean abandoned the bout?
All these athletes winning. Apostles, yes, which eligibility could apostles. A test which may have happened overnight. A test which is new. I don't think we should give that any weight at all.
Shame on the IOC for not protecting the integrity of women's sports. And shame on the IOC for not protecting the safety of women's sports.
Lightning round now, back with the panel. Native post front cover below the belt, sting like a E. And this is the Olympic scandal. Hogan, you know, it's a big deal here in the U.S. That's a big deal here.
Absolutely.
Here in this country, we are
always taught as young men, never ever do you hit a woman. Now the left from Kamala Harris, not just allowed it, but celebrated. They endorse somebody winning a medal in the Olympics for them. This is a real problem for the left, and this cultural issue has now been catapulted back into the mainstream of the conversation for this election because of this international competition that we all saw on TV. That punch may have really hurt the Democrats.
And I think it's important to be clear that Khalifa she was assigned, at birth. She's not transgender. Did fail one of the tests for a previous world championships that she was going to participate in. So this is complicated. It's nuanced here, but it certainly, raised this conversation once again. A conversation that Republicans are very eager to have and are very concerned about this conversation on gender.
Rather than today, and the rule says sex, gender, actually been raised in response 2016. Talk about the Hogan's point. This is more of an issue here, not because of the Olympics,
Trying to find a way past without losing a leg.
This issue is a real one, but I don't think the Olympic thing is real. This is a woman. She's raised as a girl. She's now a woman. She lives in a country where being transgender is illegal and extraordinarily dangerous. So I think this is a tempest in the teapot, but obviously this issue. All right, winner moves quickly. Start down there. Winner, Ruben Gallego, run for Senate in Arizona. He got Kerry Lake, the weakest Senate candidate you could possibly imagine. He's going to win miserable state. Loser, P.D. Vance. I mean, he had to save himself that he's basically irrelevant after Trump said it, and he also has to explain to his, kids who have an Indian American mother and a white father that somehow they have to choose. So, all right, Steph.
My winner is Simone Biles, proving once again she is the greatest of all time. Love seeing a gold medal for the U.S. Losers, Trump team just having to answer so many questions that are not policy opinions.
All right, Hogan. Winner of the American people who were in the Pennsylvania rally, who took those videos. We now know the Secret Service was ill-equipped to handle that, exposed so many lies that they've been telling the American people. Hopefully they'll shore up their security for everybody involved in this. And the loser is that boxer. In my belief, it's never right for a man to hit a woman.
I'll have that way myself.
All right.
See you on
Panel, thanks. Have a great weekend. It is Friday. It's Friday. Time for another report.
I acknowledge this was a failure. Is it not a realization that somebody has failed? The former president was Solasta. Sir, this could have been our Texas school book depository.
This is an unprecedented moment for the Middle East, and they are threatening retaliation for this strike overnight.
Excellent.
People Venezuela are standing up forcefully against the predations of a hellish socialist dictatorship.
We all here remember what those 4 years were like. And today, we were given yet another reminder.
So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She has the great benefit of not being Joe Biden.
Kamala Harris is a phony. What is your message today?
In fact, his choosing J.D. Vance was the best decision he ever made for Democrats.
The world is on fire, terrorism is rampant, and we give a plea deal to the mastermind of 9/11.
Today you're ready to fall in
Arson,
Wagner.
We all in our corporate intent and bro, I have been pulling for this moment for a long time.
Evan, how did you feel to finally be home?
Monday, a special report, the latest in Vice President Harris' running mate selection will follow over the weekend. Who's running Jackie Hopper, Shannon Green on Fox News Sunday. Her guest, Senator Lindsey Graham, and Senator Chris Murphy. Remember, if you can, catch us live, Central DVR, 6 p.m. on the East Coast, 3 p.m. on the West Coast. With a newsy week, we have you covered all sides. Thanks for inviting us into your home tonight and every night. That's it for this special report. Fair, balanced, and still unafraid. The Angle Mangle is next, and we have shot the Catholic.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Laura Ingram. This is Ingram Angle from Washington tonight. How the outside advisors exposed?
And he's going to come up fighting black people. Forget the right there.
And 3 weeks after the assassination attempt, Secret Service leadership finally holds a press.
That Ruth line should have been covered. We should have had better eyes on that.
No kidding. Plus, Donald Trump on the big questions.
You believe that? When you pray, what do you pray for?
But no.
The former president, as you've never heard him before. But first, Despicable She. That's the focus of tonight's angle. Now, everyone on the right having connections over the Kamala honeymoon period is typical. Okay, I'm about to say this. This is no time to collapse and do a cuddle and do what are we gonna do? Do you not remember that this woman is so unserious that even at the start of an impeachment press conference, this was back in February 2020, she had to be shushed by Chuck Schumer.
These social victory, now Republican
I'll start again.
Oh yeah, one of the things got off those Valiant
Guys,
bungalows.
let's take a
The
breath.
ones what with the fancy
For
shit
Kamala,
from
it
Genty
was
Tex.
famed excitement from day one.
From the grassroots bottom up, we are here today to throw our support behind Vice President Kamala Harris.
Wait a tick, is that why everything's all grey? Hell, that explains some things. And here I thought maybe I just blinked my head.
He's like, I just shushed her. And 10 days later, they let Kamala speak off the cuff for the first time after the president's
Feels
wife.
like, you know? Well, if you
This
really
is
only everything around here.
testament
I
to
can get
the
me right
importance
with
of having
spirit and
a
stuff.
president who understands the power of diplomacy
I'll tell you, mate, I'd
and
take anything
understands
over
the
this
strength
spray.
that
Even
rests
Remagon's
in
frosty old
understanding the significance of diplomacy. My lord, no wonder she doesn't leave home without her teleprompter. The propaganda machine is working 24/7 to remake and reshape the way the country thinks about Kamala Harris. They want us to write from our collective consciousness that the Kamala the character we've gotten used to laughing at. I'm going to share with you a very simple story, which is that I went home one day and I said, well, why are conservatives bad, Mommy? Because I thought we were supposed to conserve. Couldn't reconcile it, no, I can't. Well, left to her own devices, she kind of sounds like a very compelling candidate for, I don't know, sorority house manager.
will also be able to expand their laptop loan program and update and upgrade campus Wi-Fi. So that here at Benedict, when students are waiting for the Comet bus, they can open up their laptop and keep studying for their chemistry midterm.
But now, that woman, who the White House staff ran from, that woman is Barack Obama in what, a four-way stretch pantsuit?
I heard from some Democrats last night watching that rally. They said there were shades of Obama. Obama 08, Obama 12.
The energy level, it is similar, if not equal to what I saw happening around then Senator Barack Obama.
I think that this is cool.
This could be bigger than 08.
Fighting off mother cylinders one moment, flying into the freezing
Would
depths
Obama
of
need
Baldurs
30
the
minutes in his SUV with his briefing book to prepare for this?
My grandlands are pure bastards with a little excitement for the heart. others might think
Sure.
that blasphemy.
Well, of course, they want to keep her from answering questions because her brilliance about topics like Ukraine, it's just too much for most mortals to digest.
I mean, listen, guys. We're talking about the prescription for war in Europe. I mean, let's really take a moment to understand the significance of what we're talking about.
Oh, yeah, that's about it. Yeah, you get it. It's better for her to stay in her sweet spot as the hugger-in-chief. They want us to forget her penchant for making stuff up to make her personal biography more compelling, including a story about her marching in civil rights rallies with her mom.
I'll boil up some water.
Mama, that's all very sorry about that. Like one day she did, and I was fussing, and you know, so I'm fussing. So then she looked at me, and
Found some supplies must have washed ashore.
clean out.
The mundane kind, I mean. Nothing that
Funny that
requires
Martin
your
Luther King
talent.
Jr. had once recounted a nearly identical narrative, but I'm sure that was just a weird coincidence.
I care that much.
Look, when you don't really ever get vetted, when you get pushed along in your career, not for your talent, but because of connections, well, you can fake it for a while, but the truth always can come out. And here's the truth. Harris is nowhere close to being as politically adept as Hillary Clinton or Joe Biden, let alone in the same stratosphere as Obama. She can't hold a press conference or answer reporters' questions. She can't explain why their record is by any measure successful. She can't go into Michigan and explain how she's going to rescue the auto industry. She can't go into Pittsburgh to explain how she's going to save the steel industry. And we certainly know she cannot reassure a single world leader of her competence and understanding of geopolitical affairs. But she's had one recent significant meeting with her leader, Netanyahu, and it was so bad that immediately after it, he ended up having his people go out and start leaking about how terrible she was. And then he returned home to order the obliteration of the leader of the Hamas. They're acting as though we're going to, I don't know, vote for miscongeniality here in the United States. The idea that Kamala is going to be responsible for the lives of hundreds of millions of Americans, or commander-in-chief of hundreds of thousands of U.S. troops, is beyond comprehension. She will make none of the big decisions. She's even worse than Biden because she's never really been vetted, and she has no experience. But she feels, and she laughs, and she hugs, and her instincts are that of kind of a loosey-goosey, loopy California liberal. I frankly wouldn't hire her as an Uber driver. She's hiding from the press now because she knows that the moment she steps on a line, the moment she makes a big mistake, heck, she could be next on the chopping block. Now this, by the way, is why you have a vice president who can actually speak.
I want to ask you about the former president's comments yesterday to the National Association of Black Journalists, where he said that Vice President Harris is, quote, all of a sudden black. As a father of 3 biracial children, do those comments give you pause at all?
They don't give me pause at all. Look, all he said is that Kamala Harris is a chameleon. She goes to Georgia 2 days ago. She was raised in Canada. She puts on a fake Southern accent. It's totally reasonable to call out the fact that she pretends to be somebody different depending on the audience she's talking to.
Chameleon. How could Democrats actually believe that this woman could keep us safe? Well, remember, they are the same simpletons who actually believed in the Russia hoax, the Charlottesville both sides are good people hoax, the Jussie Smollett hoax, and yet they thought the truth was a hoax.
How did you feel when you saw the assassination attempt?
Do you really want to know?
Yes.
The first thing that ran through my head is because we cannot believe this man ever, that it was somehow fake.
So you initially thought it was staged.
Yes, that's no idea.
You still believe that?
Yeah. You don't know. I'm not sure. It's not impossible. Of course, the Democratic base is enthusiastic about her now, but as these facts come out, and they are coming out, Democrats are going to realize that they're stuck with a candidate who's given the GOP a complete real eclipse
they certainly would have rejected her, just like they did back in 2019. Oops. And that's the angle. Joining us now in Milwaukee with us, Glenn Greenwald, Pulitzer Prize-winning independent journalist. Glenn, this is really wild at this point because she has enough electoral votes to be the Democrat presumptive nominee, yet she will have answered not a single question from a single journalist. Your reaction to that?
I think that is really key, to just take a step back, a moment to pause, and realize how unusual and disturbing this situation is. She has somehow become the Democratic nominee for President of the United States, even though she didn't campaign for that position except for about 2 months back in 2019, and it was a complete failure. And no one voted for her. She didn't have to go and convince people to support her policy. She hasn't said what her policies are. We know nothing about what she thinks. The Middle East is on the brink of a major war. There's still a war going on in Ukraine. All of these economic challenges, and we really don't have any idea what her views are on any of those things, and no one in the media really seems bothered by that. It's all first ever this and coconut pill that, and isn't she great with her energy? It's amazing, Laura, that we're 3 months away from a national election, and one of the major candidates is a complete blank slate, and I think probably doing it on purpose.
Well, Glenn, the Washington Post is reporting that Kamala is replacing some of the Biden loyalists in her campaign and hiring Obama's old staff, including David Plouffe. What does that tell you? Can he spin this into Obama 2.0?
Yeah, I mean, there were some differences between the Biden administration and the Obama administration, and in general, the Biden administration, it wasn't very significant differences, but they were there, was slightly more in favor of labor unions, was slightly less enslaved to this neoliberal dogma of the World Bank and international institutions. And Kamala has always been on the side of the Obama perspective, from the Biden perspective. Though obviously there were no differences visible because over the last 4 years she hasn't been able to as the vice president. But the problem is we're reading these tea leaves like, oh, she's changing her campaign staff. Maybe that indicates she's more inclined to Obama's view of economic support policy rather than Biden. Why should we have to guess about this? Why isn't she sitting down and saying what she would do if a major war in the Middle East escalates? What she would do if the ongoing war in Gaza, war in Ukraine, or to solve all these economic problems? We have to guess constantly about what these little moves make, what these things that she's kind of inclined to do make. She's issued statements but never explained that several of the views she said she believed in 2019 she no longer believes in. But there's no explanation from her about any of this, so we're all left to sort of speculate.
Well, the idea, Glenn, and I said this in the angle, that she could sit down with a number of journalists, let alone hostile journalists, and pronounce on the complexities of geopolitics right now, especially in the Middle East. Or that she could, present her market theory as to why the jobs numbers are so bad and why, consumer confidence has cratered in the past 3 weeks or past month. Everybody knows she can't address those issues. And yet we're supposed to be like, oh, this is so wonderful. I mean, what happened to journalism in the United States of America? Forget what political party you vote with.
I mean, I think it's so important to realize how limited her adult life work has been. She's basically been nothing other than a lawyer her entire life. She worked for the district attorney's office, became attorney general. She only spent a couple of years, a few unnotable years in the Senate, and then Joe Biden said she's a black woman. There's only 3 possibilities. One of them was her, and she became that. She's basically been invisible for 3 years because they realized she was so politically unpopular. Now, she could only get away with that if there's a media that's incredibly compliant, that's only cheering for her and wanting her to win, rather than denouncing her for not coming forward and being more specific and sitting for actually substantive interviews and demanding that she do so. But unfortunately, in large part, that is the media that we have. And as a result, I agree with you completely. I wanted so much here for talk about the Middle East, or the war in Ukraine and Russia, or immigration, because I think something revealed as somebody who knows so little.
Empty pantsuit. Glenn, great to see you. We missed you. Good to see you. All right, up next.
the Secret Service with a stunning new admission about just how badly they screwed up.
They had the dream. They had the idea. Good enough was not good enough for them. Having the right idea at the right time is a golden road to riches. What makes it hardly is it's a visceral experience. Johnson & Johnson was a great contribution to the health system. Force Mars wasn't satisfied to just have nice success. What Carnegie had was vision. Dad was a great marketing guy. He understood how to market his products. He took that company where nobody thought it would go. A better dynasty was sitting now on Fox Station.
But I will not go far above the flag.
You're going to find some old cool records.
After you, stranger, let us speak of my escape. We'll discuss your
Streaming now on Fox Station. At foxstation.com. Riding continues throughout the city. Another action.
Is there any hope?
There is hope. This launch the fighting squad starting August 2nd. This could be
One of my favorite supplements is Qunol Turmeric. Turmeric helps with healthy joints and inflammation support, and Qunol has the #1 doctor-recommended form of turmeric. Qunol, the brand I trust.
For the most comfortable, luxurious, eco-friendly, handcrafted American-made mattresses on the market today, delivered and set up in any room of your house. Some luxury mattresses made with love.
Look at this. I love this summer, feel confident in anything with Soda Mellow one visit of the battery removal. All the results are immediately and feel amazing. On days to Friday, I'm very happy. I'm really pissed and my husband was like for a limited time. Take advantage of Soda Mellow's and stop for a year. Call or go to SodaMellow.com. They will change your life.
At Simplicity, we build advanced security sensors and cameras for your whole home. Powered by 24/7 professional monitoring and fast protect technology, exclusively from Simplicity for faster police response. There's no safe like Simplicity.
looking for a way to stretch the dollar? With Insurify, you can cut your car insurance bill in half. Scroll through dozens of prices and tap to switch a line. That's it. No phone calls and no
Ooh.
Go to Insurify and save today. Superbeta Prostate is the #1 selling brand for men's prostate in America. You'll notice less urges to urinate, and you won't be getting up at night for so many adverts. Superbeta Prostate. Find it at Walmart.
Alright, so who will join Kamala Harris on the Democratic ticket? That's all coming up today in Kamala's potential running mates and her radicalism tonight.
If you have missing teeth, Reset Smile is a life changer. I used to be afraid to smile, and now I can't stop smiling. Reset Smile.
You have to do something. Any of us could be next. What? I cannot imagine her blankets. Blankets are here to complain too. Yes. Are they recruiting right off the docks? Who would think that one is storming the Kraken's eye as we speak? A fighter, Mestra. One of the Juana women attacked a merchant. He has come up the first for it. Now every nationale in town wets himself in terror of losing his coin to the Amala. We would bring in the thief, but Juana would not have us march into the village and defend Italy.
Dropped a bombshell today while facing
questions.
We're starting with our federal personnel and working out. We will get, if they're willing to be interviewed, we will ask for the local law enforcement on site to be interviewed that day. We look forward to interviewing them and definitely getting their side of the story.
I think they haven't interviewed any local authorities and public. Joining me now is Richard Scroffel, a former Secret Service agent, Ari Fleischer, former White House press secretary, Fox News contributor. Richard, it's been, tomorrow will be 3 weeks since the assassination attempt. And, you know, we did get a somewhat of a timeline presented today by the acting director. But were you as stunned as I was that they still haven't interviewed any of the local law enforcement that were on the scene? The people who actually spotted Mr. Crooks making his way toward the roof before the Secret Service even knew about it.
You know, Laura, it just speaks to the ineptitude and how poorly this was handled, right? The prior director had one function and one function only, and it wasn't operational, right? The director of the Secret Service's primary function is to be the face of the Secret Service in the event something happens to the president, or in this case, to the former president. And right from the outset, they dropped the ball. She didn't even have enough sense to step in front of the cameras. I mean, for that situation, I would have used the White House spokesperson, simply stepped out in front of the cameras and said, I am the director of the Secret Service. 20 minutes ago, I watched the events unfold in Butler, PA, live on television, as did the rest of the world. I have spoken with my people. President Trump is safe and sound, and he's currently being tended to by medical personnel. President Biden is safe and sound, and he's currently around back to the White House. All of the Secret Service protectees are secure. I will be back in 1 hour as I gather more information. That's all she had to do. From the outset, that simply wasn't done. The messaging and the lack of communication from the Secret Service absolutely inconceivable.
Well, and we find out, Ari, and this shouldn't surprise anyone, that in the wake of this attempted assassination of former President Trump, public trust in the Secret Service is about 1/3 of American adults because of how this was handled.
Look what she did.
And that's dangerous because the aura, the myth of the Secret Service is part of their deterrent operation. People need to think it's a suicide mission. I can never even get close, so why try? And after fence jumping and now this, it sends a message that you can actually become famous and get away with this. Look, Laura, when I was at the White House and after the president would finish a speech and work a rope line, I would go stand on the stage where the president was previously been and watch the Secret Service do their job. And I would watch with awe at what these professionals, these men and women did. I considered it one of the greatest privileges of my job that I got to work shoulders with the Secret Service. I'm a huge admiring fan, but I am lost for words to explain what went wrong. And when you listen to today's news conference, the very basics of communications command centers that would share information between local police, state police, and the Secret Service, but didn't exist. The site events where people make the designations of what is in the perimeter, what's outside the perimeter, who will have oversight, overview of those buildings. It just wasn't done properly. And we still don't have answers. And we still have encrypted phone apps that haven't been broken into yet. There is still so much distressing information.
Well, we also learned we kind of knew this, but to hear it from the acting director was something else. Let's watch.
Based on what I know right now, guys at the Secret Service counter sniper teams were members of the former president's security detail and any knowledge that there was a man on the roof of the AGR building with a firearm. It was my understanding that personnel were not aware the assailant had a firearm until they heard gunshots.
And then this. Watch this moment.
This was a Secret Service failure. That roof line should have been covered. We should have had better eyes on that.
Richard, again, a roof that has a sight line, any sight line to the president. Ari knows this of all his trips with former President Bush. You know it from your service. First-year Secret Service agents know this. But 3 weeks later,
keep something in mind. This is the same acting director who also said this is the first event that the Secret Service is affording Secret Service counter sniper coverage to. Part of the problem is they weren't
taking this seriously, right? They kept treating President Trump as simply a routine former president or another candidate. Trump is anything but that. In all probability, he's going to become the next president of the United States again. To not afford President Trump every asset that the Secret Service has is total negligence and inexcusable. For the last year, the highest levels of government, this administration has gone out of their way to paint Trump as Hitler, Antichrist, and the greatest existential threat to democracy. How does the Secret Service overlook this and try to say, no, there was no adverse actionable intelligence? What kind of a moron are you? You don't think that those comments are going to incite every lunatic in the world to taking a shot? This is
Ari and Richard, it still stuns me. Can't believe it's been 3 weeks. Thank you both for joining us tonight. All right, up next, you won't believe what Kamala thought was a priority. The real priority at the border? Yeah, we'll show you next.
Look out, 'cause here I come. Have you always had trouble losing weight and keeping it off? Same.
Discover the power of Wegovy. With Wegovy, I lost 35 pounds. And some lost over 46 pounds. Wegovy.
And I'm keeping the weight off.
Wegovy helps you lose weight and will keep it off. I'm reducing my risk. Wegovy is the only FDA-approved weight management medicine that's proven to reduce risk of major cardiovascular events in adults with heart disease and obesity. Wegovy should be used with semaglutide or GLP-1 medicines. Don't take Wegovy if you or your family have medullary thyroid cancer, multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2, or if allergic to it. Stop Wegovy and get medical help right away if you get a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, or an allergic reaction. Serious side effects may happen, including pancreatitis and gallbladder problems. Wegovy may cause low blood sugar in people with diabetes, especially if you take medicines to treat diabetes. Tell your provider about vision problems or changes, or if you feel your heart racing while at rest. Depression or thoughts of suicide may occur. Call your provider right away if you have any mental changes. Common side effects like nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea may lead to dehydration, which may cause kidney problems.
With Wegovy,
I'm losing weight.
I'm keeping it off.
And I'm lowering my CV risk. Check your cost and coverage before talking to your healthcare professional about Wegovy. Israel is under attack.
Israel has been attacked like never before. Our skies are filled with rockets and drones. The International Fellowship of Christians and Jews urgently needs your help to send out emergency teams across the Holy Land.
The International Fellowship of Christians and Jews needs your $45 gift to rush emergency aid to the people of Israel, who are still devastated from the massacres of October 7th.
We're bringing food. We're bringing emergency resources to save lives. But we can't do it alone. We need you to stand with Israel now.
With terrorist attacks across every part of Israel, tens of thousands of families desperately need emergency life-saving aid today.
Please don't wait. Now is the time to act.
Call, scan, or go online now. How do you make the most flavorful and delicious pasta sauce? At Botticelli, we grow our own tomatoes in Italy, then pick them fresh and rush them to our own kitchens, where we create farm-to-table pasta sauce in small batches using only fresh ingredients. At Botticelli, we don't use artificial flavors, added sugars, or preservatives because nothing is fresh. Only Botticelli give your family authentic Italian farm-to-table dinner. Get it at any retailer near you.
Getting your dream kitchen is easier than you think. Cabinets to Go can design a beautiful, high-quality, and affordable kitchen makeover that's sure to wow. They have stores nationwide and have transformed over 250,000 kitchens. Choose from thousands of the latest designer styles and color combinations, from a free 3D design to installation. Cabinets to Go can do it all. Visit a Cabinets to Go showroom or cabinetstogo.com to schedule your free consultation today. Cabinets to Go. Wow for less. When I started my it was just a problem solution running company. Well, since then, with the help of my dedicated employees, we now have hundreds of products, some you might not even know about. To get the word out, we're having a $25 extravaganza.
Sight of some considerable value elsewhere.
My pillow sale,
A value
$25.
trading
And for the first time ever, our
in point of fact,
six-pack
at the very
you
least,
guessed it,
any of us
just
are
$25. Our annual pet fish house, $25. And I've never seen my pillows with Baldurs, any size, any box level, even king size for only $25. And there's so much more. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code for our $25 extravaganza. Order $75 and over, your entire order ships absolutely free.
Vital Advance has been such a game changer for me. Vital Advance reduces wrinkles and promotes weight loss. My skin looks healthier. I literally shed a few pounds in the first couple of weeks. Learn more at trysealvital.com.
Every day, undeniably, there's one influential book that shapes the way we measure, creates, and ignite change. The Bible's impact is all around you. Discover how at Museum of the Bible. When you can't watch, listen. Get the latest news, business, and news headlines on SiriusXM. Anytime, anywhere. Fox News Audio on SiriusXM. America is listening.
This is a Fox News update. I'm Miriam Rafferty in Los Angeles. A Chinese citizen is in a heap of legal trouble accused of repeatedly trying to trespass at former President Trump's Mar-a-Lago club. The 38-year-old California resident is also claiming he had documents tying his home country's government to the July 13th assassination attempt on Trump. The man now facing a misdemeanor trespassing charge and remains in jail on a $10,000 bond. He's been ordered to have no further contact with Mar-a-Lago, Trump, or the Trump campaign. And President Biden's son Hunter is scheduled to be sentenced on felony firearms charges on November 13th after the presidential election. He could face up to 25 years in prison, but as a first-time offender, will likely get a more lenient sentence. The president's son is also facing another trial on tax charges not set to begin in September. I'm Marianne Rafferty. Now back to the Ingram angle.
What am I to make of that? We haven't heard from Mestre or
I am Mr. Wolf.
nor any of his assistants.
Welcome to Fantasy Island.
Yeah, Kamala Harris trying to erase her disastrous record on the border isn't a big on her own fence.
Then everything that we have
Donald
worked for
Trump,
is at
on
risk,
the other hand,
which is where
has
you
been
come
talking a big game about securing our border, but he does not walk the walk.
and I'll set half the time to work. We'll patch up your ship, and you'll be free to go on your way.
The border security bill that Donald Trump killed, and I will sign it.
I will assign men to keep watch over your ship.
Right, this
You
is
will
border
find
bill
the
that
big
would
sites
still
on the
permit
eastern side of the
1.8 million illegals to enter the country illegally every year.
recover all the resources
Oh, come on. What a joke. You people are fanatics.
of
And
great
I also, by the way, just think you're stupid. Back in 2019, Kamala Harris's campaign saw illegals for their positive electoral implications. And a study they liked over at the campaign noted that migrants could provide sizable contributions to the margin of victory in swing states. Yeah. Kamala's border focus centered also on pollution instead of illegals actually crossing into the country. Joining me now is Sheriff Thaddeus Cleveland of Terrell County, Texas. He's also a former Border Patrol agent. Sheriff, I've got to say, for Kamala Harris to try to play tough gal on the border now and compare her record to Trump's is really peak Fantasy Island.
like a giant.
Hi, Laura. It's great to be back on the show, and you're exactly right. Look, the comments you made about the borders, are accurate, and she's just as responsible as the president because she's part of his administration. But more importantly, the part that she commented on about President Trump, sabotaging the Senate border bill. I was saying before President Trump, as a former Border Patrol agent, that bill made no sense. What we have to get back to is border security. Immigration, border security, two separate issues. And to be honest, that border bill that would have worked would have been the House's border bill, H.R. 2. That dealt with those asylum seekers who you just mentioned, the 1.8 million that would still come. That specifically dealt the House bill with that issue.
And Sheriff, as far as I understand this, when they're saying, well, the numbers are down, they've been trending down,
Isn't that just because they're funneling people through the ports of entry? So the border in between the actual ports of entry, the official entries into the United States, that's just no man's land. Am I getting that right?
Laura, that is partly right, definitely. They're still using the CPT one app. They say that it's 1,200 a day they're allowing it. Who knows if it's really more? They haven't been very honest about the border. But to be honest with you, I don't trust that number. We also have the previous programs they've utilized, the Cubans, Venezuelans, Nicaraguans, and Haitians, that they allowed to fly in. Those people have to pay their own flights, but they're still being allowed in. So that's another set of numbers. And then you're right, you have those that are crossing our border. Some cross, and as soon as they get here, they surrender. We have seen a downtrend, but the number that they compare, the 55 to 50% decrease, they attribute that number, they're going back to the record high, which was over 300,000 illegal entries when we had that one missing line. So no, they're playing the numbers game. And again, regardless of Republicans, Democrats, in D.C., or even America, most of them just don't understand what's going on along our border. And then again, border security has nothing to do with immigration.
I am sorry for the loss. I tell you, Sally, I cannot help my magnificent hate.
Well, we have a Sterling, Virginia, this across earlier today, a 54-year-old grandmother was murdered by an illegal who has crossed into the country, I guess at some point recently, I believe from Venezuela. A horrific story, leaving behind a grieving family. This horrific border policy.
It is incumbent on us who believe in the strength of diversity and the importance of unity to build coalition. Let's bring everybody together.
Oh, bring everyone together. It's just more woke blather. And what she's doing, of course, is the opposite. In fact, her team is so committed to an agenda of division and acrimony that they're holding segregated Zoom calls to rally supporters. And that's including the white dudes for Harris and white women who answer the call. But what are Kamala's hardcore activists? What are they saying about her white affinity groups? Meet Cora Masters and Melanie Campbell.
He did that. And we said that about forget the white man. They're going to be black with a white man policy.
Captain.
That's what you're doing. Yeah, and maybe it's not that they want to change, so they just say, so I don't care nothing about them. I mean, you got to do that. That's my interpretation.
Since Biden came into office, those two women visited the White House 50 times combined, including nearly a dozen visits with Kamala or her team.
What is it?
Joining me now, Madeline Brame, lifelong Democrat, turned Republican. She said F white women. This nasty racial stuff. What does it tell you that these two women are in Kamala's orbit, influencing her or her team?
Now I have Ilari's people.
Hi, Laura. Thank you so much for having me.
Down is looting everything they can get their hands on, and the
first of all, I didn't know who these two black women are. I've never heard of them before, and I think I could speak for most, black women or black people across the board in America. Who are these people? They definitely do not speak for, the poor black people that live in the hood. Right? These are your typical well-to-do, all right? Liberally black people who would not step foot in the hood to really know what's going on or what they think. Nobody cares about what solution to resolve this. All right? We care about what Kamala Harris's policies are and what her record has been. She's been vice president for 3.5 years. We still have yet to see anything, any policy that's worth anything. She talks all that gibberish, all that word salad, jumping through all those hoops of fire like Dr. Seuss, okay? That nobody understands what she's even saying. Now she's galvanized all these black people behind her because she's almost black, all right? And then she's a woman.
That's real leadership, but she did it through a spokesman in a written statement because she will not go in to answer real questions from real journalists if there are any left. Certainly not to a hostile crowd. She'd never do what Donald Trump did to go into the National Association of Black Journalists. She'd never do anything like that in a hostile crowd. But this divisive rhetoric on the part of her outside advisors. We have another comment from one of these women. Again, on a Friday night, people don't need to hear this, but you got to know who's in Kamala's ear. Watch this.
I'm not saying everybody who voted for Trump is wearing a white sheet, but they got one in their closet. And it comes out when we start messing with the economic balance of power, when we get to be too many, we be able to access power in as raw as form.
So the voters for Trump have white hoods in their closet if they're not wearing them, I guess, on the weekend at their Klan rallies. Now, really quickly.
So offensive, so insulting. You know, they must think that, you know,
That's a good one.
This company is going to come out. This company, all right? And they expect us to fall for that because it feeds into the narrative of, you know, racism and all this other thing. I've never seen more people more racist in my life than black people against other black people, all right? I'm 61 years old, been black all my life, and I've never experienced racism from a white person in my life. But I have experienced it many times over from black people with the N-word and all kinds of other derogatory statements. My whole entire life.
All right. Madeline, it's great to see you, as always. We'll continue to expose these connections that Kamala Harris has and doesn't want anyone to know about. Thanks so much. And up next, another fighter in the Olympics, Gender Storm, wins easily. We'll dive in.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound was blind but now.
Stash.
Lord Heavenly Father, I pray to you today to guide us tomorrow. Give us strength as we face death. Help us not to be afraid.
It's 10 o'clock, let's do this!
Everything. The camera chin.
What? I've been a standing appointment with Mr. Dubin for years. I'm expecting it.
Not anymore. Mr. Dubin's been taking Relief Factor.
Relief Factor! Keep pain away for good with Relief Factor, a natural supplement that takes a different approach to pain relief. It doesn't mask pain, it builds up your body's response to inflammation, so pain won't get it. Call or go online today and live your best life without pain.
Have you ever thought of getting a walk-in tub for you or someone you love? Now is a great time to take a look at getting a Safe Step walk-in tub. With Safe Step's standard heated seat and new fast-fill faucet, you can enjoy a nice warm bath up to 20% faster.
Safe Step walk-in tubs are built to maximize safety, so you can stay in your home and enjoy the comforts of bathing again.
Oh no, to receive 15% off, plus a free shower bill.
And that's why I never drive those cars. Smarty's over, big guy. We're tired of hearing, I don't need my truck dirty. With WeatherTech laser measured floor lines front and rear, a seat protector, and full depth protection, trucks are totally covered. You just got WeatherTech. Yeah, buddy. Let's get dirty. Drive worry-free with these American-made products at WeatherTech.com.
Only from SimpliSafe, 24/7 lifeguard protection. This exclusive technology allows SimpliSafe agents to help stop crime in real time. Stop. Police are on their way. For instant intruder deterrence and faster police response, there's no safe like SimpliSafe.
Sentinel's Rhythm and Blues Caribbean sale is now on. Visit Sentinels.com or call 1-800-SENTINELS.
Nobody wants to pay for it. It's too expensive. And if they can extend the life of that roof and get 5 more years or 10 more years, it's a no-brainer.
What RoofMax does is it helps people in that they don't have to spend that $15,000, $20,000 on a new roof. They can spend pennies on the dollar. The RoofMax product is a small percentage of cost of replacing the roof.
This is a great financial decision for us as community.
Live reaction to Trump's Atlanta rally. Get the impact on the Georgia battleground and win a game for his campaign. Mike Waltz and Tommy Larry sound off Saturday on One Nation.
Pretty Litter was the one that changed my world when it comes to cats.
My house never smells like cat litter. I don't have to worry.
Get together with friends and family. Remember to ride. Reduce impaired driving annually. Because ride starts with you. It starts with a designated driver and the kitchen where you offer guests non-alcoholic drinks. When you call a friend to come and pick you up. And at the corner when you pass the last bus. In the driveway with a simple "please, please," or in the living room when you decide to stay overnight. However you ride, thanks for doing your part to keep our roads safe. A message from Arrive Alive Drive Service.
Here you find civilization I need that. Betting. Unless a wise and prudent city.
Who failed a gender eligibility test just won the match against a female fighter.
That good exchanges in the middle there was enough for me, but after that first round, which set the tone, she was pretty much in control.
Absolutely.
In red from Chinese Taipei, red.
It's not right.
Lin Yuting's win comes after Italy's Angela Carini forfeited her fight against Algeria's Imani Khalid just after 46 seconds. Matt saying that she had never been hit that hard before. Joining me now, Paula Scanlon, ambassador for the Independent Women's Forum and former teammate of Leah Thomas. Paula, we found out late today that Angela Carini has told an Italian newspaper that all this controversy makes me sad. I'm sorry for my opponent too. If the IOC said she could fight, I respect that decision. And she regrets not shaking her opponent's hand. So, do the gender bullies usually win and make these female
Save this.
bow down?
It looks like they certainly won in this instance, right? I mean, it's just sad to see that they have to walk.
And we'll catch you guys on the next one, alright? Peace.